As an archer player, I totally forgot to speak about one of the most important change for the beginners, and not only beginners, for every single player who likes to play with archers, right? And that's of course changes to the heroes which came out couple of updates ago, right? And one of the changes to those heroes was Nico, and the change is pretty huge, right? Before, the Nico had marksman, engineering, and precision talent. And also Nico had second skill, the engineering skill, which means that the skill and the talent tree was pretty useless in terms of open field PvP, and that was actually one of the biggest problems of this hero, right? But after the update, we got PvP talent tree, and instead of engineering skill, we got HP bonus 10% and 15% march speed bonus. And I will be honest, HP bonus is one of the best bonuses which you can get in Call of Dragons, basically for every single troop, and especially as an archer main, I can say that HP bonuses have been really good, right? So when you were just starting the game, you had like couple of choices, right? Like you either were going for Nico or Kinara. Before, when Nico had engineering talent tree and engineering skill, everybody's number one choice was to actually go for Kinara, right? Because Kinara's every single skill was useful in open field, and plus she had PvP talent tree. After the update, well, it's interesting what would be the way to go when you start the game as an archer main, right? Because now Nico also has PvP talent tree, and every single skill is viable in open field PvP, right? So basically, of course, it's just totally purely on preference, right? But basically, best idea for archer mains is that both of the heroes will play together until the late game, right? So in order for you guys to know how to use Nico in late game or during the beginning, this video will be about that, right? So basically, of course, we have to know what's the idea behind Nico's gameplay. It's a different style of archer which deals damage mainly by the rage usage and skill damage, right? And most unique factor about Nico's total gameplay is that he has defense reduction, which is 15%, and defense reduction is not just purely debuff, it's also a whole synergistic gameplay in terms of PvP open field, which I will try to explain, right? So all the skills like physical attack is not really much, 20%, 10% defense, and this is actually one of the best skills Nico has been, like, if we won't gonna count the number one skill, which is piercing shot, right? And of course, synergy is still going. Defense break, well, 80% chance to deal additional damage. So whole gameplay of Nico is to use rage to apply defense break, and that's how you are actually dealing damage, right? So during the beginning, in terms of hero pairs, we have Kinara and Nico hero pair, right? And I will tell you honestly, it's not even during beginning. Right now, I'm still using this hero pair. So in terms of like damage, I'm going always with Kinara primary because I like Kinara's control tree a lot, because this hero pair for me is basically skill damage user with a lot of debuffs, right? And we also know that Kinara's main idea is debuffs, like almost every single skill is applying debuff from Kinara, and plus control talent tree is basically another debuff from the hero, right? And plus Nico also has debuff, which is defense reduction, and like if defense reduction is there, 80% chance to deal additional damage. Kinara's awakening skill also have synergy with defense break, and that's the biggest and most easiest synergy which you can actually create if you want to be archer main, right? And that's the first hero pair which you can easily create. And yeah, like basically if you are going with my style, this will be like defense break control style of gameplay with Kinara and Nico in the like Kinara as a primary. And for the artifact for this hero pair, of course, would be Rattle Spear, right? Because, well, Rattle Spear is also another, like, debuff for our hero pair, which has defense break, like defense penetration, right? Even level 1, 10% is totally fine. So, yeah, that's kind of another debuff, additional effect when your Legion inflicts defense break on enemy Legion. Legion, your Legion gains defense penetration, and we are for sure applying defense break with Kinara and Nico hero pair, right? And for the War Pet, basically Snow Peak Rock, this War Pet is available from the start of the game. It has a synergy with defense break, yet again I will mention here. So basically, like synergy is pretty simple, especially for beginners. If you like control talent tree, like debuff giver and some damage dealer hero pair, I think Nico, Inara Nico would be a great choice, right? And for the Snow Peak Rock, I think concentration is pretty nice skill, but main idea is that we are also getting like more than 3% physical attack, which is really good, right? So yeah, like I think this will be the primary War Pet for that hero pair, and maybe you guys will have a different option in terms of skills, but I think War Pet in general should be this one, right? And yeah, like for example, if you want to know and if you want to try out Nico as a primary hero, because we spoke about Kinara, and Kinara was primary hero because we were using control talent tree. Of course, I'm gonna show you if you want to be Nico primary, even with Kinara, right, what would be the talent trees, right? So precision talent tree is the talent tree which I like a lot in terms of Nico, and here of course we have Mighty Slash. Like in my opinion, Mighty Slash and the Mark of the War can be totally good. In some occasions, I believe Mark of the War is even better because we want to have simply high attack damage and just to use skill damage with the rage, right? But with my own gameplay, I'm kinda got used to playing with Mighty Slash. And that's just because I just got used to, since the day one, I'm just playing with Mighty Slash. Even with my Magrat as a primary, I'm still using Mighty Slash there. Here, the next choice is like for the additional skill damage factor, because this hero is centered around skill damage factor. And yeah, half PvP, and of course I'm going for Army of Valor, increased damage dealt by your Legion while in battle by 1% every 10 seconds to maximize or maximum to 3% additional attack, like damage, is pretty nice. Of course, right? And also I tried my best to get as much extra rage thing as possible because like skill damage user archer hero pairs are basically really connected with the rage, so I tried my best to get as much rage talent which was possible to get from the talent tree, right? And of course we have to mention that like primary heroes talents only matter if your hero is secondary. Those talents doesn't matter, right? So that's why if your idea is to use Nico as a primary, that's why I'm showing the talent tree, so it will be easier for you to understand what to choose and how to choose, right? So like that's the first beginner hero pair for the Nico, and of course it would be Kinara even with the changes, even without the changes of the Nico, right? But I believe there is one more hero pair which is pretty secret. And I believe when Falgrim and Sibyl came out and there was a test server, I tried out Falgrim with Nico and Kinara with Sibyl, and with my own gameplay I noticed that these hero pairs which I just mentioned was doing more merits than Falgrim and Sibyl together. So in my opinion, there is one great hero pair which is hiding for the skill damage users, and that's of course Falgrim and Nico, right? Falgrim and Nico. Well, we have a lot of similarities with Falgrim and Nico. Both of them are skill damage users. Both of them have excel in terms of like their main point is to use as much rage as possible, to use skill, and in general Nico is kind of lacking to get merits because it's not that easy to get merits with skill damage factor user, and because Falgrim has a splash damage, we also get like that additional merits which we were missing with Nico, right? And basically everything which we can see here is like skill damage users build. So like if you have a question like which one would you use as a primary, Falgrim or Nico, right? I would go for Falgrim. I believe PvP talent with some kind of skill talents and not crit talents, because crit talents won't work, should be the choice, right? And of course, as always, like if you like Nico as a precision, as a primary, would be better, right? So what's the main idea about this hero pair is pretty simple. Fulgrim actually deals quite a lot of damage, and if we're gonna give a defense reduction to the Fulgrim, and defense reduction is especially good against like with these skill damage users, I think with those splash damage and dealing damage to multiple targets and pretty high skill damage factor together, it will deal a lot of damage, right? If you want to actually see the gameplay, I believe like a couple of months ago I have a video when I was fighting with Nico and Fulgrim, and yeah, they were doing amazingly well against maxed out players, and of course in test server I also had maxed out accounts, right? So I believe Fulgrim would be primary with the Nico, and of course we have a different artifacts and warpeds for this hero pair, right? I believe the artifact for Fulgrim and Nico would be, of course, Iron Tusk, right? Iron Tusk is the like exclusive artifact for Fulgrim, and if we are using Fulgrim as a primary, and if we want to get a lot of merits, this will be the artifact, because the like additional effect about penetrating bolt. This is the only hero which does damage with penetrating bolt, so that's the exclusive artifact. If you can get it, would be nice. If not, like even Shadow Blades can be totally fine, because we want to get a lot of damage from the artifact with this hero pair, right? In terms of warped, I believe Barbed Manticore would be the choice. Because Barbed Manticore is great if your target is already applied defense break, and I'm pretty sure we're gonna apply defense break from the Nico's first skill, so the puncture will deal quite a lot of damage, right? I believe even the Barbed Manticore would be great to build around Chain Strike synergy. I believe Chain Strike synergy is the best synergy which we have in terms of Archer warpeds, and hopefully, like I know, like Barbed Manticore is one of the newest Archer warpeds, but unfortunately soon we have mages and then again Archers. So if you will just decide to build Barbed Manticore, it might be late. So that's why you can always go for the Sand Lizard for the utility style to be tanky, right? Because I like, if you ask me, I rate healing a lot in Call of Dragons, and it will work, but of course in terms of like full damage, because Fulgrim and Nico will be pure merit getters. They won't gonna do more damage than Maggot and Zaida, but they will do same amount of damage as Syndron and Freygar, maybe even more, right? Maybe even more. And of course, like depending on your gameplay, maybe you don't have Sibyl and you wanted to make it work the Fulgrim. I believe for the Nico to have a hero pair in this kind of late game, like imagine Nico is like G1 hero and Fulgrim is G4 hero, right? So I believe like Nico is pretty nice hero to have, or even in West when you start the game, because you can at first build with Kinara, which will work for many seasons, and then you can transition Nico to Fulgrim, right? And of course, if you're gonna compare Kinara, Nico, and Fulgrim and Nico, there is a totally different gameplay. Here, our main job with Kinara is to apply debuffs to make enemy weak enough for you to deal damage with, like, for example, Maggot and Zaida, right? That's like main idea of Kinara and Nico with control talent tree. Silence, debuffs, slows, defense breaks, and some damage. But at the other hand, like for the G4 hero with Fulgrim and Nico, with the Iron Tusk and Barbed Manticore, I believe this is more of a PvP offensive style of gameplay. You just don't care about debuffs at this point. You just want to go and deal damage, right? That's like more offensive style of gameplay, which is nice because Archer players will have like options. Which one will be good? Which one do you want to play with, right? Like so far, I'm using Kinara and Nico. I'm happy with those silences and with those debuffs. Maybe in the future, if I won't gonna like new archers, I will decide to build even more Fulgrim, like levels and like awaken him, and then I will use Nico. But I believe the changes which got happened with Nico is really huge. We got basically additional skill for free with the best bonuses for the archer heroes, right? So, and the best PvP talent tree is the best talent tree for open field PvP. So basically, Nico and Kinara got like two different styles which can work together. together, and at the end game, Nico can go either to debuff section or either to like more offensive with the skill talent tree. That should be the choice, right? And yeah, like that's the most important about this video, that like for the archers, a lot of changed when Nico's gameplay got changed. And actually, like, I was really excited to make this video because Nico, like, in a way, Nico is like one of my oldest hero pairs which I have ever created, and right now I'm still using them, right? Like, until we're gonna finish talking about in this video regarding Nico, I have to mention one project which I have been taking part in terms of like promoting it, because I want to have as much active kingdoms as humanly possible in Call of Dragons, right? And I will introduce you with the post which I have made like a couple of days ago. So the project name is the First Order, right? And the main idea of this project is that experienced leadership will build the kingdom in a way that kingdom will be active, it will be fun, and it will like compete with other kingdoms. So like I'm speaking to the players who are new players who want to have a good alliances, because like in almost every single video I mention how important it is to have good alliance, and that's like one of the best thing, because not only you have friends and community, you actually without good alliance and good leadership you can't have good wars, you can't have behemoth fights, you will miss out on a lot of rewards. So basically you are playing different game. So if you have a bad kingdom and the kingdom actually left you and you want to continue playing with some good people who will help you to like have fun in the game, this is the post which I made a day ago. This is the Discord server. Go like ask any question how it happens. Maybe you just started the game and you can't really find a good alliance which will help you to progress through the game. This is a great way for you to participate in the project, which will last for a long time, and they will take care of you basically, right? Because I know that they are experienced people. They have played not only Call of Dragons as a kingdom builder game, but also another ones, right? So yeah, if you are interested, check out this post, check out their server link, and yeah, you will like as soon as you will text them, they will reach out, and you guys gonna have a conversation, right? So yeah, hopefully we can do stuff like this more often, because I believe in Call of Dragons it would be cool to have more and more new kingdoms with like active population, and that will be great even for the veteran players, because we will have more like matchmaking, because sometimes we have same amount of allies and same amount of enemies every single time, right? So yeah, that's like enough in terms of Nico and the project. Hopefully, as always, you guys liked the video. If you did, press like, subscribe, share. It always gives me more and more motivation to make more content for this game. I wish everybody amazing day, morning and night. We are going to see each other really soon. Bye bye and good luck.